join me in welcoming
your new Captain America.
Avengers, assemble. What's happening, internet? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Adrian, aka Foamm Cosplay. If you're new to my channel, I make a lot of cosplay tutorials, fan films, movie and TV reviews, and everything else in between. So if you like my content, please do leave a like, comment, definitely subscribe to my channel. It was my cousin's birthday last Sunday, and they needed Captain America to show up, and who am I to say no to a chance to cosplay my favorite superhero of all time. I'm going to go over how I did it, and without further ado, let's get creative. This isn't my first time cosplaying as Captain America. This is actually my fourth time. I've worn the Captain America costume to events in school, Halloween parties, screenings of Avengers Endgame. But this is my first time wearing it as an armor. So I'm going with old reliable, which is EVA foam. The armor pieces would just be the torso armor, shoulder armor, as well as knee pads. First thing I did, as usual, was gather a bunch of reference images which would help me figure out how to translate the costume into foam. And once I was ready, I started sketching everything freehand, and then I started making my way from the ab armor. I cut out the white pieces as well as the red pieces. I didn't glue them down yet. I was going to glue them down after I had painted it. Once the ab armor was done, I went to work making the star. I first cut out 5 four-sided diamond shapes which would form the edges of the star out of Sintra. I then cut those pieces in half, glued them down the middle at a 90-degree angle, and then I glued them together to form the main star. Pec area, which was made out of 2 pieces of EVA foam. This Endgame armor had scales, just using the rougher side of the EVA foam. And then I put craft foam under it to form the base of the star, as well as craft foam to form the highlights and the lines. Those lines that were on the scales, I then carved out to give the armor more texture. Once the chest area was done, I then went to work on preparing the helmet for repainting. This was just a helmet that I ordered online. The first thing I did was I cut the excess pieces using nippers. With the cutter, I then removed all of the leather straps just to make it easier to paint the helmet without any problems, anything getting snagged. And once that was ready, I then went to work on reshaping the helmet. I heated it on the inside, and then once it was cold enough, I put on a ski mask and then I wore it over my head. That way it would expand and it would accommodate my head perfectly. Having fixed the helmet as well as the chest armor, I then made the back pieces. Were basically just 3 large pieces of EVA foam which I tried to make look like the back of Cap's suit. I just needed it so that I could attach the side pieces of the vest. Once that was done, I then made the side, which weren't really of importance to me. I just needed them to make the vest hug my body a bit more. So I got a sheet of craft foam, cut it in half. Those 2 pieces then served as the side garters, and then I got my sewing garters, glued those on, and then on the other end, I attached Velcro so that I could slide in on one side and then close on the other side. I then went to work on the rest of the vest, so that included the traps area or the upper shoulders, and to do that, I cut out 2 pieces of EVA foam. And because glue gun doesn't hold if the surfaces aren't flat, I had to really bend the 2 foam pieces into shape again and again and again, and then I held onto the hot glue until it finally held in place. The back was easy to make, but to attach it was awkward because it wouldn't hold it place. So once again, the heat gun saved the day. I had to heat everything down just to create more flat surfaces, and once everything was heated, everything stuck into place. Shoulder armor was just an octagonal shape, and then I cut out the inside, reversed it so that the scales were on the outside, glued that down, and then I made a separate strip which would be the red part of the sleeve, which I would glue on later. I then went to work on the knee pads, which were pretty easy to do. I just cut out a basic shield shape, and the lower 2/3 were divided into 3 and the upper was divided into 2. And now it was time to work on the leather pieces, the harness as well as the utility belt. To make both of these pieces, I got all of the pair belts that I had lying around. These were the belts with ridges, so I just cut those up, and then I glued craft foam under them, got them into the right shape. 2 long strips for the harness and 1 strip for the belt. For the harness, I then made the buckles which I cut in the middle and then just glued into place. I had major complications with the harness. If I attached it to the back metal piece, which I made out of Sintra, it wasn't gonna fit me with the armor on. I'll just glue it down to the armor itself. As for the utility belt, I then had to make the pouches. I made 5 pouches in total, 3 on one side, 2 on the other. Basically, I cut out 2 layers of EVA foam cut into rectangles for each of the flap made of craft foam, and then I cut out several pieces which would serve as the metal clips. In addition to the made leather pieces, I then also needed to make Cap's gloves. So I sacrificed Black Hawk gloves and I made them fingerless. Once the entire chest armor was ready, I then went outside and I painted the individual pieces. So I hit everything first with black rubber seal primer, and then I painted everything their individual colors. So I painted the red stripes red, the white pieces white. The rest of the armor, I painted the dark blue. I found the perfect shade for me, which was fortunate. So I just went outside, painted everything, and then I left it to dry. The helmet really lent itself to being painted with another kind of spray paint. So the dark blue paint that I used really made it shine. It's shiny now, but it's the right darkness that I need for Captain America. I left those pieces to dry, so I brought the chest armor pieces outside. I hung it on a hanger, and then I painted it. I brought the ab armor outside, painted it. Brought the helmet outside, painted it. Brought the leather pieces outside, painted it. It's fairly straightforward. You just cut out the pieces from craft foam or EVA foam, glue the individual pieces down, bring them outside, paint them separately, let them dry, and then when you bring them back inside, that's when you glue all the pieces together. While the pieces were being dried, I then brought out my soft pieces, and my undershirt was a dry fit Captain America shirt, and my pants were tactical blue and black cargo pants which I found online, and then I wore standard jungle combat boots. A lot of the work involved was painting, and I was fortunate that I was painting in the heat because the armor dried really fast. It smelled though, but then what can I do? I was rushing. Once the pieces were nice and dry, I then brought everything back inside in order to glue everything together. First thing I glued down was the helmet. Once it was nice and well shaped, I then reapplied all of the leather pieces to the helmet, fit like a glove, and then I painted all of the silver areas, so that's the wings and the A on the helmet, with silver textile paint. After I finished the helmet, I then glued the ab pieces together. I reinforced them at the back with scrap craft foam. I then glued them to the upper chest armor, and then I glued the cummerbunds on. Having glued those pieces together, I repaired any pieces that fell off during painting, glued everything down once again, glued the shoulder armor on, and then glued the silver highlights as well. The chest armor was ready to rock and roll. As for the leather pieces, I first had to figure out that I wasn't gonna fit with the leather straps going separately, so I decided to just cut it up and glue it to the main armor. Problem solved. Then we had the utility belt. I just put a piece of Velcro. I glued all of the silver pieces down to the pouches, and then I added Velcro to the back, which would allow me to close the belt. With all the pieces ready, that's it. I was good to go. I was also fortunate to have Captain America's shield made by Pro Cosplay. It really made my armor, so I was very happy with the result. I liked how it turned out. I liked how confident it made me feel. And you know what? The moment I saw my cousin during his birthday, that's when I really felt worthy. And that was my Captain America cosplay from Avengers Endgame. If you like what I do here and want to see more of it, please do leave a like, comment, definitely subscribe to my channel. And until next time, props to you and costumes too. Peace.